What is cancer? Cancer, in the simplest of terms, is an abnormal growth of cells. Today, we're going to be exploring one of the hallmarks of cancer, evasion of apoptosis, which is one of the mechanisms which allows cancer cells to continue to proliferate as well as grow abnormally. There's three mechanisms for evasion of apoptosis. The first one is loss of the TP53 gene. The second is overexpression of BCL2. And the third is overexpression of inhibitor of apoptosis protein. First, let's go over loss of TP53. So, loss of TP53 can actually be concurrent with MDM2 protein amplification. Now, the function of MDM2 is to bind P53 in the absence of cell damage. Now, this would prevent cellular senescence, the inhibition of the progression of the cell cycle, and prevent P53 from performing any of its other vital actions. Now, in the presence of cell damage or DNA damage, MDM2 will release P53 protein. TP53 protein will be released, which will then be able to diagnose as well as repair that DNA damage. Let's get into the second one, overexpression of BCL2. If you remember, BCL2 is a part of the intrinsic pathway or the mitochondrial pathway of apoptosis. BCL2 is an anti-apoptotic protein, part of the BCL family. One of the best ways I found to remember that BCL2 is anti-apoptotic is that BCL stands for be clever, live. An overexpression of BCL2 is also concurrent with follicular lymphoma. Follicular lymphoma leads to tumorigenesis or the production of a tumor. BCL2 is a pore plugging protein, right? It plugs the pores that the pro-apoptotic proteins BAC, BAD, NOVA, PUMA all create within the mitochondrial membrane. Now, overexpression of inhibitor of apoptosis protein. Inhibitor of apoptosis protein, I'm not going to go too deep into that. Just know that it inhibits the caspase activation, right? What does that mean? So the intrinsic and extrinsic pathways for apoptosis, as well as the perforin granzyme B pathway, all have to do with the caspase activation. First, you have initiator caspases. Caspase 9 is going to be in the intrinsic or mitochondrial pathway. The initiator caspase is caspase 8 for the extrinsic or the death receptor pathway. And all three pathways, intrinsic, extrinsic, and perforin granzyme B pathway, all have executioner caspases that end up leading to cell death. But hope this was helpful to y'all. This was the hallmark of cancer, evasion of apoptosis. That's all I got, so y'all have a good day.